All right, everybody, get ready, cause today we are really going to dig into this whole waste treatment engineering thing.
You've sent us a ton of stuff on it. Career guides, interview tips, even AI stuff for job seekers.
Seems like you're thinking about, actually maybe doing this for a living.
Or maybe it's just super interesting to you. Either way, we're going to break it all down.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those fields people don't always think about it much.
But the work is, well, it's essential, really.
We're not just talking about, like, taking out the trash here.
Right.
It's about designing the whole system.
The processes, how we deal with waste, making sure it doesn't mess up the environment.
Yeah.
And even maybe turning that waste into something we can actually use.
Okay, so way more complex than it seems at first glance.
One of these guides, RoleCatcher, I think it was called,
Right.
talks about this kind of balance.
On one hand, you're having a positive impact, like helping the planet, but then there's potential hazards, too.
Yeah, and I gotta admit, that got me curious.
Can you kind of walk us through that a bit?
What are we talking about here? Rewards-wise and also the risks of this kind of work.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, for sure, this whole sustainability thing everyone's talking about.
It's put a spotlight on waste management, big time.
Makes sense.
Think about it. The world's making more trash than ever, right?
Yeah.
So we need skilled people, engineers, who can design solutions.
Solutions that protect, well, everyone, and the planet, too.
That's the reward right there. You're directly making the environment better.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty strong motivator, gotta say.
But what about those hazards then?
Give us some examples. What kind of challenges do these engineers actually face on the job?
Well, picture this. You got to analyze this stuff called landfill leachate.
Basically, it's the liquid that forms when rain, filters down through all the garbage.
Ah, okay.
And you've got to figure out the best way to treat it, remove all the nasty stuff.
Before it gets into our water supply.
It's kind of like being a detective in a way.
You're analyzing this cocktail of chemicals, and then you got to come up with a way to neutralize the threat.
Now, that is some high-stakes chemistry. Sounds like a lot of responsibility comes with this gig.
What other things might a waste treatment engineer be doing? The guide mentioned designing systems, right?
But for different types of waste, how does that work?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely not one size fits all, that's for sure.
We're talking everything from your everyday household trash to, like, industrial byproducts.
Even hazardous materials, the really nasty stuff.
Wow.
An engineer might specialize in just one type, or they can work on systems that can handle all sorts of things.
Could be anything from composting, making it super efficient for organic waste.
All the way to, like, cutting-edge treatments to get pharmaceuticals out of wastewater.
It's wild.
So we're talking about designing these really complex systems, dealing with potentially dangerous stuff.
And it's always changing, right?
Got to be constantly learning in this field.
The guide even mentioned AI. Like, they're using AI in this field, which is wild.
Oh, absolutely. This isn't the kind of job where you learn it once and you're good.
Right.
Technology's changing everything when it comes to waste management.
We're talking like AI-powered robots that can sort your recycling better than a person could.
Wow.
Gets rid of the contamination, makes sure we're actually recovering those resources. It's amazing.
AI robots going through our trash.
That sounds like something out of a movie.
What other tech stuff is changing things in waste treatment?
One of the really cool areas is energy recovery.
So instead of just burying waste or burning it, engineers are figuring out how to use that energy.
For example, some cities are now using anaerobic digestion. It breaks down organic waste and it makes biogas, which you can use to make electricity.
Yeah.
Or even heat buildings.
Really?
It's a win-win, good for the environment, good for energy.
That's amazing. Turning trash into treasure, literally.
Seems like you'd need to know a lot of different things to be a waste treatment engineer.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. You need the science and engineering basics, obviously.
Right.
But it's more than that. Remember that RoleCatcher guide. It mentioned communication, critical thinking, even negotiation as important skills.
Yeah, you don't usually think about those for engineers.
But I guess it makes sense, actually.
Can you give us an example? Like, when would you need those skills on the job?
Sure. Let's say you're on a team and you're designing a new waste-to-energy facility.
Big project, right?
Right.
You'll have to explain your ideas to other engineers.
Okay.
Different disciplines, maybe architects, construction crews even.
And you might have to present to local officials, people in the community.
So you got to know how to explain complex stuff in a way that people get.
And you got to listen to their concerns, too.
It's like you're the bridge between the high-tech stuff and making it actually work in the real world.
Exactly.
Okay, so say someone's listening to this and they're thinking, this is it. This is what I want to do.
They care about the environment. They want to make a difference.
What are the actual steps to get started in this field?
Well, I'd say first focus on school. You'll need at least a bachelor's degree,
Yeah.
civil engineering, environmental engineering, chemical engineering, something like that.
Gotcha.
Then internships. Those are huge.
Well, internships, yeah.
Hands-on experience is key, and it's a chance to meet people in the industry.
Make those connections.
Exactly.
That RoleCatcher guide also talked about certifications, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Are those a big deal?
Oh, yeah. Getting licensed as a professional engineer, the PE license, that's a big one.
It proves to employers you know your stuff.
Yeah.
And there are more specialized ones, too. Like the CWMP Certified Waste Management Professional or the CHMM Certified Hazardous Materials Manager.
Those can really give you an edge.
So that's education, internship certifications. Got it.
What about networking? Important in this field.
Networking, always a good strategy.
Yeah.
How would you suggest someone new to this field go about that? The guide mentioned a couple of organizations like ASE and WEF.
Oh, yeah, those are great.
Okay.
ASCE, that's the American Society of Civil Engineers.
Right.
And WEF, the Water Environment Federation, they both have like local chapters, events, all about waste management.
Yep.
Going to those is a really good way to meet people, folks who've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, you can learn about the latest stuff, maybe even find a mentor, someone to like show you the ropes.
It's all about those connections, right?
Totally.
The guide also mentioned something about showcasing projects to employers.
Like what kind of projects would really impress someone in this field?
Anything that shows you're serious about sustainability, and that you can solve problems.
Okay.
Maybe you help design a better composting system like at your school,
Uh-huh.
or volunteered for some cleanup project.
Even something you did on your own, like, I don't know, building a little biodigester at home, something like that.
Oh,
It shows an initiative
right.
that you're genuinely interested.
Yeah, it's about going beyond just reading about it, actually getting your hands dirty.
Exactly.
Well, literally, in this case. This has been so interesting. I had no idea how much, innovation and creativity goes into waste management.
It's something we all kind of take for granted, but
Right. It's one of those things, it's kind of hidden, but super important.
protects public health, the environment, and with this whole sustainability push, plus all the new tech, it's only going to be more important going forward.
Absolutely. We covered a lot, from analyzing hazardous waste all the way to making energy from trash.
So for someone listening who's like, yep, that's for me, what's your biggest piece of advice?
I'd say follow your curiosity. If you really want to make a difference, like a real difference in the world,
This is a great way to do it.
don't be afraid to reach out to people, ask questions, explore different parts of the field.
Might surprise you what you find.
I love that.
Yeah.
This field is full of surprises, that's for sure. And it seems like waste treatment engineers, you guys are really on the front lines of, building a better future.
We like to think so.
Well, if you're looking for a career that matters, this could be it.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive into the world of waste treatment engineering.
Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, stay curious. And remember, there's a ton of cool stuff out there just waiting to be discovered.